What's good, YouTube? It is your boy Dev, and today we are back again with another video. Today I want to talk to you guys about how to buy your first property. Alright guys, so if you saw the last video, as you guys know, I was hoping to provide a lot of inspiration from my journey with real estate over the past couple of years, and how me and my girl, we have purchased 3 properties in the past 2 years, acquired over $100,000 in net worth via our properties, as well as making about $1,200 a month in rental cash flow from our properties. So we are rocking and rolling in our real estate business. It is growing and we are enjoying it, and we're just trying to shed light on the subject because, you know, the whole subject of financial education is not something that is really taught. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody really talks about this in school. At home, you don't learn about any of this stuff. So really, the internet is all we really got out here. You know, the internet, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and other authors who write about real estate. But guys, today I want to tell you guys how to purchase your first property, because the last thing I want you to do is be super inspired, like, ooh, I want to buy a house, but you know, then you realize that you don't have the knowledge to do so. You don't know how to do it. You don't know where to start. So that is where your boy Dev comes in. So let's jump in, guys. Don't worry if you don't know anything. Read the shirt, guys. Take it easy. As Danny Lay says, take it easy. All right, guys, this ain't American Idol, so let's relax. But we're gonna jump in, guys, because I want to teach you guys today how to go out and buy your first property. Let's go. Property number 1, I'm so excited because I just get excited when people are trying to chase their dreams and start building generational wealth for their family. So property number 1, this is what you're gonna do. The first thing that you need, you basically need 3 things, right? You need income, you need credit, and then you need some money saved up. So the first thing we're gonna talk about is income. So income, you basically have 3 options when it comes to income. Option number 1, you can be a W-2 employee, you can have a regular full-time job, and if you have 30 days worth of pay stubs, or if it's a new industry that you just started working in, they like to see like 2 to 3 months. But a lot of times you can have 30 days worth of full-time pay stubs working full-time in a position. And if it looks like you're gonna be in that position for a little while, basically long enough for you to make it through closing, and after, of course, that's the goal, but you at least have to be working that full-time position through closing, you are able to qualify for a mortgage off of full-time income. Now, a lot of people think you gotta be making these big bucks. They think you gotta be out here making $50,000 a year, $70,000 a year. No, my girlfriend purchased us this property working full-time at her job, making $12 an hour, guys. So let me ask you a question. What's your excuse? You make less than $12 an hour? Probably not, because you can work a job like I work another job making $15 an hour. And you know, that's a job that does not require a college degree, just requires some hustle and wanting to get up in the morning and go to work. You know what I'm saying? So what's your excuse? You don't have one. Exactly. So let's get the excuses out of here and let's get some plays in place so that you can start building generational wealth for your family. So that's option number 1 when it comes to income. If you have a full-time job working 40 hours a week, you can qualify for a mortgage. Option number 2 when it comes to income, you can be part-time, but the trick with part-time work is you have to have had the same part-time job for a total of 2 years before you could qualify for a mortgage. So I don't really like that option. It's a lot tougher, so really get that option out of here. Focus on just getting that full-time job, get 30 days worth of pay stubs, and let's rock and roll. Now, the third option when it comes to income is you can be self-employed. I know a lot of people have their own businesses. You might be a barber. You might be a nail tech. You might be a masseuse, right? You might be an esthetician. I don't freaking know what you are, but if you are self-employed, you can still qualify for a mortgage. But then again, the bank requires you to have 2 years worth of tax returns because they want to see that your business has been profitable, because they can't loan money to somebody who's not making any money, because that person isn't going to be able to pay back the bank their money. You get what I'm saying? Like, say I came to you, I didn't have any money, but I said, can I borrow $100? But you know I ain't got no money and I don't work and I ain't making no money. Like, what? Like, no. Like, if you loan me $100, you like financially messed up. Like, just sorry, but it's just the truth. But anyways, guys, if you are self-employed, you need 2 years worth of tax returns. And if you have 2 years worth of tax returns showing enough money typically the bank will look at your income and whatever you make, they'll times it by 3, and that's typically about how much house they'll allow you to afford. So let's say you make $25,000 a year. The bank will typically say that you could qualify for a mortgage of probably right around up to $75,000. Now, I'm not a mortgage loan officer, so do not take any of this information and use my advice as the only advice. Go reach out to a mortgage lender. If you're in my local area, reach out to me and I'll be happy to share a couple different mortgage lenders' contact info with you, and you can reach out to them and see exactly what you need to do to get pre-approved so that you can start building generational wealth for your family. But in my opinion, out of the 3 income ways, having a full-time job and 30 days worth of pay stubs is the easiest way for a full-time person working a job to get a house. Like it's so easy. If you have a job full-time, it is so easy to buy a freaking house. Now let's get to the other 2 buckets that you have to have filled before you can make this dream of starting to build generational wealth for your family a reality. Number 2, you need solid credit, guys. Credit is so important, and I have a video on my channel that I'm so disappointed that it only has like a couple hundred views, because come on, y'all. Credit is everything, man. We finance everything with credit. It seems like our cars, you need good credit to get a good interest rate. Homes, you can't buy no house without no credit. You ain't got $200,000 cash. Come on, man. Like, it's just a reality. We don't have $200,000 cash, but we do deserve to be able to live in a $200,000 house if that's your dream for your family, right? You want to raise your family in a nice crib, you should be able to do that. You know, if that's what you set out to do, if that's your goal, you should be able to do that. But how can you do that if your credit is in the mid 400s? Come on, man, we can't do it. So we have to get our credit together. We have to invest in our financial education as far as learning how credit works, how to keep good credit. Our credit utilization needs to always stay under 30% on our credit cards. Guys, credit is just everything. So minimum credit score, you know, it fluctuates. And I know during COVID, the credit score actually increased to, I think, right around a 650 was the minimum for like a first-time home buyer loan. But I know at one point, I think you could get a mortgage for like a 550 credit score. So guys, that is extremely low, and that should be nobody's goal to have a 550 credit score. I'm just saying, guys, because you pay so much more for everything. I understand life happens, but guys, we can't just use that as an excuse. We have to continually try to improve our credit, because when you have good credit, you get better interest rates, and then you end up keeping more money in your pocket, making you richer rather than the bank richer, right? So you need good credit. My goal for you will be to at least have a 650 credit score, because I know when COVID hit, that was the minimum credit score that banks looked at, basically for you to be able to get a mortgage. So 650 at a minimum. I know I try to keep my credit between 730 and 770. You know what I'm saying? That seems like where it fluctuates. And banks love that score. You get the lowest of low interest rates, typically whatever you're trying to do. And you know, that's just like the goal. You should be trying to aim for as high of a credit score as possible, but a minimum of 650, and you should be solid. But if you don't have a 650 credit score, I would still encourage you to call a mortgage broker, because they might have a program for you. If you have credit that may be a little challenged or bruised or whatever, they might have a program for you that enable you to bump into a property with a lower credit score. So I would still recommend, if you have that solid job, to reach out to a mortgage broker and, you know, get an opinion from them. And lastly, guys, number 3, the third thing that you need in order for you to buy your first property, the property that is probably going to change your life, the property that is probably going to start you on your journey to financial freedom through real estate, like it has done for me. That third thing that you need is some income saved up. Cash reserves are so important, guys. You need some cash set aside, because you're going to be looking at your down payment as well as your closing costs for your new property. A lot of people think you just have your down payment, but you also have closing costs as well on top of that. So you need to always keep that in the back of your head, that you're gonna need some money saved up when you're buying your house, because you know, you can't just buy a house for nothing. You have to put some money into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has to put at least something into it. So have some money saved up. And then a lot of times when you buy these houses, you know what I'm saying? You're going to come in and you're going to want to change the color. Paint costs money, guys. And then if you don't paint, you got to hire a painter. You know what I'm saying? You might want to change the carpet. The carpet might be a little dirtier. You might want a different color. Carpet costs money. Carpet ain't free. You know what I'm saying? So you just always have to have a little money set aside, depending on, you know, the property that you buy. Of course, the amount is going to vary. But you want to have some money set aside so that, you know, when you get into the house, you're able to do the things that you wish to do to your new house. You know what I'm saying? Or say you just want some furniture. Don't nobody want to be house poor. You got this beautiful house. You just put all your money up for the house. But when you invite people over, y'all standing up because you ain't got no couch. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody wants that either. So however you look at it, you need some money set aside for your down payment, your closing costs, as well as after you purchase the house and you want to get in here, you want to start furnishing it and making it your home. So let's just do a quick example. Say you're buying a house for $75,000, right? $75,000, you're going to be looking at a down payment for a first-time home buyer loan of 3.5% down, which is like $2,600, something like that, like $2,600. Now, you can ask the seller to pay for some of your closing costs. So on a first-time home buyer loan, this is so freaking awesome, guys. You can ask the seller to pay for up to 6% of your closing costs. Now, most likely on $75,000, your closing costs aren't going to be the $5,000 that you could ask the seller for. So, you know, a lot of times I'll recommend to my buyers, just depending, we'll do an estimate with the loan officer, but we'll try to get as much money from the sellers as we possibly can to help my buyers not have to put up that much money. You know what I'm saying? So the less money my buyers have to bring to the table, that's more money that they'll have after they close on the house to be able to furnish the home and do any little updates that they wish to do to the home. So that is kind of a gist of what you need to do. You need income, guys. Like I said, a full-time job is the easiest way to purchase a property. 30 days worth of full-time pay stubs, and the banks basically love you kind of almost. Like it's so crazy how it works. Credit, at least a 650. At least that was the terms during COVID. Like I said, there's some programs out there though that might be able to work with you if your credit is not at a 650. And then the third thing is cash money saved up for your down payment, your closing costs, and then when you want to furnish the home after you get in there, guys. So that's kind of like the gist of how you can go out and purchase your number one, your first investment property, or your first property to live in. Investment properties are a little different, but the way I recommend you doing it is you buy a property, you live in it for a year. That's all the bank requires you to live in it for. And then after you know the game, then the next year, you can do the same process, buy another property and turn that first property into an investment property. Or if you don't want to have rental property, a lot of people use a strategy as to where you buy an undervalued home, maybe a home that needs a little work. You buy it, you live in it for 2 years, you fix it up, and then after 2 years, the United States government allows you to sell the property without paying any tax on it because you lived in the property for the past 2 years. You can take that tax-free money and do whatever you wish. You can go buy a house cash, or you can put that on a down payment on your dream home, or whatever it is you wish to do. But that's a little overview, guys. I don't want to get too deep with this video, and I don't want this video to be too long. So I'm going to cut it here, guys. Always remember, guys, when God is in it, there is no limit, guys. Do not limit him on your life, because he can do the extraordinary. He can do all the unknowns that we think he can't do, he can do. Like, he is undefeated in my life, as Marvin Sapp said on his last album. He's undefeated. And man, God is just good, man. So let him be good in your life. And, you know, take the tools that he's given you. Start building that generational wealth for your family. I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.